Hello, welcome to Real Magic Review. My name's Steve Faulkner. Am I bright and red and stuff? Have I put the saturation up too much? Anyway, let me know. I'm going to say to you, do you know what happened? I realised I haven't got my comments up just before I started. So I just got them all up and got all befuddled. And then realised I had a load of detritus here because I was playing with Skillcraft Coins just before. That's what I was playing with. I started playing with that again, thanks to Homer Liwag. Boom, starting to justify the purchase. Right, so like and subscribe. I'll make sure I press the right button. Have a look at, so professional. Have a look at onlinemagic.co. That's my online magic school. Many of you here are in it. Gary, Tom, Stuart, we're all here, aren't we? And you're going to have an hour of, well, Dave's running the session tonight, pretty much, with the mem deck stuff. In an hour, so that's going to be lovely. But anyway, you get 700 plus videos, live sessions every week on the course, and I've just uploaded 2 more actually on ring and string moves. So I've just done that, which a lot of you won't know. You actually bought some magic. Well, I'll tell you what, Gary, it weren't for I did try and get some Skillcraft things to review, but they weren't having none of it. Quite rightly so for that price. I don't think they need my my input. So. Yeah, I've been playing with them. So anyway, go to onlinemagic.co after this. That'd be great. And now, like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. So Matthew, how are you? I'm good, thanks. Gary, Tom, good to see you all pop up. Stuart, and 2 Garys there. All right, nice to see you. So I haven't got much planned. Well, I don't have eye on these comments, but I have got some news. No, don't get excited. It's not news, really. It's just a thing. But Crazy Man Split, I did at the last 2 gigs as part of the thing. And I've done Crazy Man's Handcuffs forever. And I've opened him with that. And it felt really weird to go into it in a different way. But the responses are so good. That bit where they hold it and then you just cut it in half, it's great. And again, even a couple of times because I was a bit nervous doing it at a gig, I didn't do very well. And it's still, to them, it looked great. So, again, you're talking about a $12 download, and finishing. I am finishing with the bit at the end. So the bit at the end where you do the split, boom, Crazy Man's Handcuffs. There's a couple of questions actually. Well, one question I'll answer on that in a minute, and then you go into the vanishing thing when you go into one band. And I was very like in practice, I could just get into that position straight away with the one band. To finish off with, but in performance, the first couple of times I was getting all confused. I completely forgot. I was all nervous, and when I was basically chatting to them, getting into position and trying about 6 times to get in a position. Finally got it, did it, and it completely floored them. So there you go. Great finish, beginning, middle of end, and an end to a lovely routine. And I have also been playing with Crazy Sam's handcuffs. And I have performed it. It's one of those things that you can just kind of put in at the end if you fancy it. And if it doesn't go well, you just pretend you're playing. Do you know what I mean? I just did it and it was okay. It's good. That's what I did. It was okay. I did it with the bands. I thought that was probably a stronger way to do the trick rather than just without. And it kind of went well. But it's a moment now, isn't it? I'm trying to kind of build it in and get it a bit more smooth. It's one of those... It's a bit like the Lincoln cigarettes and the Lincoln matches and all that kind of stuff. It's weird. It's kind of easy, but you've got to work on it, and I'm not quite there yet. But that's worth a look. I'll be reviewing that as well because I think it's great. And yeah, so I've been doing that. A couple of things I've added to my repertoire because people always say which ones do you add to your review, which I added for a while. I think I might have mentioned this, was the mystery blocks, not just the normal mystery box, which I do want to do. John Allen's got a great one, which I'm going to review. I have it. But mystery blocks, which is the Lego one, I never really found a way of doing it. I think I mentioned this before, but I've been doing that lots now I've got a presentation on it. So it's a really nice, really lovely routine now. And I knew, but then it fell apart. Well, it didn't fall apart. I broke it the other day because I was manhandling it. I got all mixed up with which bit was the gimmick bit, and so I've got to fix that. But that's a really nice routine. And I did 3 gigs where I just thought I'm going to try all the stuff I haven't done for a while. So back to watch stealing and pickpocketing, really all because of the Hector Mancha book, it made me realise, why have you lost your bottle with this? It doesn't matter if you get caught. So I got a lovely watch the other day, and I did it. I find that some people do a watch deal when you do the, you put a coin in their hand and say it's going to leave your hand. No, it hasn't left your hand, and you steal it then. I've been doing it with Crazy Man's handcuffs. And it feels really bold because when they're holding the band, I'm holding their wrist, and I do this gag and I go, if you aim it just right, you'll get that bloke over there. And they laugh. And as I'm doing it, and their face is there, and I'm taking a watch here. I'm sure it's okay to say that here, isn't it? Because that's, I haven't got that off anybody. That's just where I thought it would work well. And it does. And it works better there than it does anywhere else for me. So I was chuffed with that. So that was thanks to Hector Mancha. Any questions, let me know. Are you still need to review Skillcraft Coins? Can you show them now? Yeah, I can show them. I'm not allowed to show the gimmick, but I can just show what they look. I'm not allowed to kind of do the thing. So let's check I've got everything set up. Yeah, so they're my Skillcraft Coins. That's the one. So these are the Morgan dollars, and these are the Kennedy halves. And the good thing is you've got to look at what one it is, yeah. So that's the one. And they're just great. You can see that's the one by the thing I just shown, which was wrong, of course. So, I mean, I love 64 half dollars anyway. And the idea is, of course, you can there and there. That's not obviously the routine that I do, but just so you can see, that's the Morgan half just there. And there's that horrible sound at the moment, but that wouldn't be obviously very important not to do that and cover those things. But yeah, so so these are the Dean's set. I might do a normal video on this. This is Dean's set $65. I got these way over 10 years ago. Actually, if I got them now, I'd buy the Walking Liberties. I really like them. I'm kind of glad I haven't got these, but I got them. But these are a long time ago, and these are the Morgans, which I absolutely adore. I've got 6 of them with one. I've got a flipper for each as well, which I haven't used yet, but I had a bit of a lockdown spend back in the old days when I actually had some money before my mortgage doubled. Good job I bought them then, because I wouldn't be buying them now. So that's that. There you go. Let's look at them. You still need to, where can I get that download? Oh, what, the crazy, it's, just Google it. Crazy Man Split Henry Harrius. Yeah, really worth doing. And if you buy the download, have to get in touch, Gary, and I'll kind of, but you'll get it. It's not a difficult thing, really. It's kind of, at the beginning it feels icky, but it's very cool. Where's my mouse? There it is. Dal T, hey Steve, I've never done rubber band magic outside of Lincoln Bands by Joe Dixon, which is great, isn't it? What resources would you recommend for someone wanting to style a routine around Crazy Man's handcuffs? Well, I think that the thing is, you don't want to do too much. I mean, the lovely thing about the Henry Harriet thing, and I'm not affiliated. It sounds like the fact that I've taken that and put it into my my working repertoire, and I've always said I don't want to do anything with Crazy Man's handcuffs. I don't want to put a ring in there and none of that. But it just works so well as a beginning, middle, and an end. And Henry does perform it. That's his thing. So I recommend that because you've got 2 other things. You've got an in and out. Other than that, I've just ordered. I'm ordering. I think because I'm starting to research rubber band magic for my course. So I've been looking at loads of different stuff. What is it? Oh, obviously Joe Reinfleisch. It's so I'm terrible pronouncing that. Him, sorry, Joe. What's Touch? Touch DVD. It's great. No, it's not Eric Chen, is it? Who did the? Oh, someone help me. Touch is the elastic band DVD. It's got a lovely couple of moves on it. It will come to me in a minute because he's put out the Crazy Sam's handcuffs as well. So have a look at that. There's loads of stuff. Russell Lee's banding around. I haven't seen it, but some people have talked about that. There's just loads and loads. But Dan Harlan's got the free DVD set, and that will have loads on it. But you don't need that much. That's the thing. You don't want to be doing loads and loads of it. But I do love it. You can just carry it around. It's like I've got one on my wrist now. Look. So Penguin Magic has the download. There you go. Muppet on Meds. Do you go to London? Did I go to the London Magic Convention? No, I was gutted. I was going to go, and I got a gig, and I wasn't going to take a gig. I was going to go, but then again, my mortgage was near enough doubled because of the interest rates at the moment, so I couldn't afford not to do a gig. So I used the gig to do all my new stuff. Afternoon, Terry from South Carolina. Hanson Chen, there you go. Sorry, always, yeah. So thank you, Magic Man. So that's Hanson Chen, Touch, and he's also put out, his company have also put out Crazy Sam's handcuffs. So do check that out. But Crazy Sam's handcuffs is an addition to Crazy Man's handcuffs. I don't think it's a separate thing. But saying that, there are people that have been doing things with it. So I think it's a good concept to learn. Very enjoyable to play with. I'm really enjoying it. So here's some comments. God blimey, hang on, I've lost you. There you are. This is from Mike. It's similar to what I've just been saying. I've been thinking about trying some elastic band tricks. Are there any particular makes, type, sizes that you found good? I've looked at some sources, Jay Sankey, etc., and they talk about American sizings, which isn't much help. No, it doesn't matter. So you'll see 19s. Well, saying that, it was always, for me, it was always number 19s, normal elastic bands for Crazy Man's handcuffs. You know, I used to see people, the yellow ones, and the Joe Ringflish, them. The ones that you buy, the bright colours, and I was thinking, no, I want normal ones. I've changed my mind on that a little bit. No, normal ones are absolutely fine. Get yourself some normal elastic bands. Don't start spending money on loads, and get yourself some 16s if you want to learn Henry's routine, because it doesn't work with 19s. They're too big, right? Obviously, if it doesn't work for 16s and it doesn't work for 19s and it works for 16s, it's going to be because of that in it. But you just can't really do the move unless you've got massive hands, and then you might be able to. But get yourself some, if you're just going to do Crazy Man's handcuffs, but I'd get yourself some 19s and some 16s as well, and that'll pretty much cover you. I have started to go back to 16s for Crazy Man's handcuffs now, because it fits up with Henry's routine. So it feels a little bit tighter, but you can still do it totally fine. And it's great. And also, they say you should use 19s with Crazy Sam's handcuffs, but actually it works fine with 16s. You just got to stretch them a bit more. So get normal ones. You get them online. Don't spend loads of money. And if you get into it, then get yourself the other ones. Now, the reason I like the other ones is because they are brighter. So if you're doing gigs in dimly lit places, you can get the yellow ones. They do apparently last a bit longer. I don't know if that's true. They seem to last well, but then so do the other ones. So, and there is something about the different, there's some tricks that are good with different colours. So I got the kind of variety pack, which, you know, there's like a different colour named after each magician. It's quite cool. And they're not over expensive. So you get a big bag of them. But the yellow ones are the ones I think are the best for gigs, I suppose, because they're closer to the normal ones, but they're really bright and they kind of pop in the light a little bit. So that's that. Moves types, some sources, as I said, I think, you know, the main ones are, who was it that, that was a great trick. Who was it that I reviewed the download from? I'm having a mental block. I can't do names, even if I know them really well. I did a download I know him, you know, I mean, it's a nightmare, but he had a, if I'll come to it, I'll put it in the comments below, quite a long way back in my reviews. It nearly came to me there. It just popped in and went out again. But yeah, but you'll find sort of scattered stuff. But I think those that I've mentioned before will be fine. Yeah, glad you got it, Gary. And got you into rubber band magic. It has me. I've been loving it. I love this new take on and Sam's as well from Chris. These 3 tricks make Crazy Man handcuffs an even better thing. I think the out back to 1 band is the best bit. It's purity and always made. Yeah, it is really lovely. And it's lovely how Henry teaches how to do that in the best way possible. When you perform it, you realise you've got loads of time. But just that lovely feeling when you're completely clean and there's all that subtlety, so bring it up to your face and melt it away is really, really magical. And a lot of people say, you know, elastic band magic doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter, does it? It don't have to. That's why magic's good, because it doesn't. It doesn't. The course is going up then, people. Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to put the price up. To buy me Walking Liberties. Michael Amman noted 19s in his book and lectures for Crazy Man's handcuffs. Well, that's where I learned Crazy Man's handcuffs, and actually it's brilliant Now I'm going to do my usual thing of spending 10 minutes looking for a book to show you, but I don't really need to, I could just tell you, but there you go. So you can't get this, which is annoying, but his essay in here on the Crazy Man's Handcuffs is brilliant, but you will be able to get it somewhere, I'm sure, because I think it was probably published before it was in this book. But there is quite a lot of, the timing's so important. You see people mess that trick up a lot. They're rushing through it and pulling it apart really slow. And I rush it sometimes as well. So that's that. What other ones have we got? My voice is going to pop up in a minute because I've just opened my channel. I'm just going to go there. Well, I only posted a Homer Liwag one yesterday, but there's kind of one comment that was actually quite interesting. Let me just open that. Do check that out. It's an interesting thing in it. I think Homer's masterclass is amazing, but it's interesting. I'm not saying that I mind, but the views I get for that compared to when I review a trick, for me, this is the gold. The tricks are great, but when you get, when you listen to Homer's expertise, I really think that's what people should be spending their money on. And again, I'm no affiliation. Homer's class from Terry, who's here now, is what all online lectures should aspire to. Yeah, it's really good, isn't it? It's just so good. I loved it. I'm really looking forward to the second one and going back to Chris Kenner's as well. The table, right, so this is interesting from Magic Man, who I know you're watching. The table coin routines look very nice, but not something you're going to perform very often. As a professional magician, how do you split up your practice time? How much time do you spend practicing new things you'll never perform at a gig? I spend quite a lot, actually. And actually, I used to have that thing of, I'm never going to perform this. But what I've realised now is that I've started performing things I didn't think I would perform at gigs. So, I'm doing a load of table riffle stuff at the moment, I'm learning. And not to do at gigs, just to do and to teach. A lot of people want to learn it and to know and to talk about. I love it as a subject. And it was a big gap in my skill, but actually I've started doing it. When it just sort of happens, and I'll sort of stack a couple of aces into position, and when I'm improvising with a deck of cards, and that might not go anywhere, or it might just be a quick thing. And I think that most things I practice that I don't think I'm going to put into a gig, I rarely put a whole routine that I learn into a gig. I'm not very good at learning routines and sticking to them, but I'll tend to improvise around it. So, excuse me, with coin one, I may well do that. I think it, excuse me, I think it works actually, but it has concepts in it that I could see could work. You can mix routines up, so you could do a little bit out of that. And I started learning, I did learn the Troy Hooser routine as well, which again I've forgotten the name of it, but the lovely one that is a lovely, nice one using the shell again. It'll come to me in a bit, probably when this is finished. Someone remind me. But again, that you could do a bit of that, and then that could pop over there. And when I was playing earlier, that thing that happens with the cups and balls as well, if you've been doing the cups and balls for years, I wouldn't say you improvise it, but if you get lost, which I do sometimes, you can just, because you get it, you can just kind of play a little bit. And I think that with these routines, you can take those concepts and you can start doing one of them, maybe one coin. Maybe you just use a deep back clip thing and you go, I'm going to do that, bang, and that's it. And then you go into another thing. I think I like doing that with magic. I like doing little moments. I put a short on YouTube today, which is just me playing. It's not a routine, but the reason I did it was because I'm reviewing the thing that brought in the big coin. But I was just playing in it, and I sometimes do that with magic, and it wouldn't work if you were watching it back filming sometimes, because it doesn't make much sense. But in the moment, I think you can use a load of these concepts. And I'm waffling on a lot, but I think it's an important point. It's not about just sticking to the routine. Use them as your base, use them as your meditation, your practice drill, and then you'll find that those skills will come into play. So I don't really it's a bit different for me, because I don't divide that time, because unless I'm working on a show, and then it becomes all about that, But I like to, one of the reasons I started the course was to make myself keep learning, and then people can ask for things, like someone asked for the ring and string moves today, so I spent a load of time with them, and I wouldn't have had someone not ask for them. So, and I came across a moment today where I thought, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that move into that, which I wouldn't heart of had I not been learning it because someone had asked for it, you see what I mean? So so I think go in with a complete open mind. If you want to practice it, don't think about it, just practice it and see what comes from that. And there's me waffling on. Right. My dog was proper, oh yeah, that's so funny. Gary sent me a picture of, because I mentioned Homer Liwag's dogs, and your dog is pricked up, didn't they? She's here now watching, brilliant. I showed her some magic last night and asked her what she thought. She replied with rough, how rude. Nice. How is she not far wrong? Her advice was where to perform, brilliant. Right, so that's that pretty much, I think. That's been a long time, isn't it? 20 minutes of waffle. Thanks for listening to me. And thanks for coming. Do come next week. I'm all over the place. It's getting into kind of November, December, isn't it? So keep an eye out on make sure you press the little bell icon when you've subscribed so you get the notifications. I will do some last minute ones as well. I'm going to do some live ones this week, last minute, and next week, because I've got loads to review and I need to catch up. So I'll just go live at random times, so you might see it pop up. So make sure you hit the bell icon. Go and see onlinemagic.co. Those of you here that are on the course, I'll see you in 40 minutes. And we're going to do some mem deck stuff, which is great, because I'm rubbish with a mem deck. I know it, I don't use it, so that'll be good for me as well. Oh, hang on. No, there you go. Right, thanks very much, everyone. Take care, be safe, be happy, and any questions, let me know. And I've got to send the Orbit. I forgot who won it. Jake won it, something. So, Jake, if you're watching this, do send me steve@onlinemagic.co. Send me your address if you know that you've won the thing. But look at the... Anyway. Right. I'm going to go now. See you later. Bye.